Hello. Oh, okay. I am really triggered right now. I don't really want to share other people's story. I feel really uncomfortable when I mention other people. So I'm going to try to not do that. But I'm very triggered right now, and I'm realizing that if I'm triggered, it is not the fault of the other person. But it's too late. I already engaged with them. So, and it did not, I just got all, verbal tyrant. I'm putting my foot down and I'm speaking my truth and I'm setting boundaries and you have not respected me and blah, blah, blah. That's basically an emotional translation, angry Obama. Remember that? Anyway, except that both my versions are angry. Anyway, but channeling makes me feel better, right? So I am going to ask my spirit guides to help me have perspective on what just happened, and can this heal? Can this be because I had a healing today. I went to my first in a long time group on learning to channel, and they did a healing. In fact, we didn't even practice channeling. It was just listening to her channel, and she did a healing. But I did have a really nice afternoon. I felt in the flow. I was calm with the kids were throwing temper tantrums, handled it, and I thought, what is the most constructive way for me to handle every moment? I was really in my now all afternoon. And and then in the evening time, this thing came up, right? So part of me thinks that because when you heal, it's what can happen is that old stuff can come up to be healed because you're kind of ready. You've cleared off a layer and it's ready to kind of leave the system. But part of the reason it's ready to leave the system is because you're ready to handle it. And now I'm thinking I didn't handle it very well. So I'm asking my guides, can this be over and this was the last episode of whatever forgiveness lesson that was? Or did I just screw it up and I have to be really, really on my toes because it's going to come up again and I got to handle it differently? So, all right. And supposedly the healing I got was supposed to open me up to channeling better. So this is my first channel since that healing. Okay. Dear God, I'm listening. Dear Kelly, welcome. Welcome. I just feel like they're being really jovial. They're kind of moving. The spirit guides are up there all dancing a little bit. And they're oh, welcome. You're always so welcome to join our energy. And congratulations on your healing today. That was cool. It was so fun to play like that. And yes, we were there. We were there at your group gathering and healing, and it was authentic, and there was definitely a healing that happened. And we think that you are going to move a bit faster in your channeling now. Okay, and in your day, you're going to handle things differently with your kids, and you're going to make different decisions about food. You're going to be more conscious. You're going to be able to say no easier. And see what did happen. And Kelly, you had a glimpse of this tonight as you were accepting responsibility for your emotions. You had the thought, oh God, now it just left my mind. you're taking responsibility for your emotions. And oh my God. Okay, I gotta pause because I just totally forgot. I want to see if I can not waste time getting it back. Okay, I got it. So I was listening. This is an example of what this next point is. I'm not really sure how to put words to it, but I was listening to a Tony Robbins YouTube clip about his top 10 recommendations, and he says I didn't listen to the whole thing, but the first thing he said was have higher standards for yourself. Because there's the story. Now he goes into a story, so I'm a story within a story here. He talks about the elephant who's trained, because I guess circus people train elephants as babies, right? And they tie him up to a chain, and like eventually the elephant gives up trying to break the chain, and he just gives up. So even if you cut the chain, he still gives up. Like he never can get it back. Once you give up the fight, you give it up, right? I'm sure people who train horses know about that. So anyway, the point was that we've been dulled. We've been programmed to be dull, right? So that we don't challenge authority, right? It's been going on for thousands of years. And we've been dulled. And one of the counteractions we can do as rebels is just higher our standards, okay? Like expect more. And tonight I did that. Like when I was thinking about, because we're moving to Germany and we're not really making plans I don't look at my calendar all the time, and we double book things, and we're not all on the same page. But that's because I don't have really high standards. I just sort of like accept what is, and if something falls through at the last minute, I usually give up the extra thing I wanted to do because I didn't plan hard enough. Well, we had a scheduling conflict with one of our plans, and I was like, wait, no, that's not okay because I really wanted to do this. Whereas before, I would have just been like, oh, bummer, I guess I don't get to do that. But tonight, I was like, no, it's got to happen. And then the compromise came in, and I tried to make that happen, but then I came up with like another obstacle from the compromise that I had agreed to. And then after that other obstacle came up, I went back and I was like, no, this is not fair. And I just sort of threw a fit, right? So anyway, what my Holy Spirit's starting to say is that I was right, that the reason this kind of even explosion happened is because I had a higher standard. So, oh my God, skunk. Oh, okay. He did not spray me. Oh God, you guys, it's 10:15 at night. It's dark out, and I'm walking around this loop that has no lights. And I'm like, I'm fine. There's this safe here, right? And I heard this little squeak, and I turned my head, and it's this white fur. But thank God I don't stink right now. But I think I'm gonna stop walking on the loop. This is where I go to talk by myself. So anyway, woo, that was funny. Okay, so anyway, God's telling me that, I gotta breathe for a second. Okay, so God's telling me that because I raised my standards, this blow up happened. And everything's gonna be fine. Okay, so now I'm gonna get back into challenge. I just wanted to explain all that backstory to you. Whew. Still some adrenaline going. So anyway, and I knew that there was conflicts in our schedule before the healing that happened today, but I didn't think to say anything. Like, my mind still had cobwebs. And it was after the clarity that came from the healing, which was a healing because there was so much energy. The person who led the class already raised the vibration of the room by guiding us all through a meditation that was grounding into the earth and opening our crown chakra and inviting in the higher selves of each of us and our white light and all that. And so anyway, the frequency was raised so much that it was able to clear our perception and our human antennas, if you will. I mean, that's what psychic abilities are. They're human antennas into the realm of creation. And so when we look with our physical eyes, we see what's around us, right? But when we look through our sixth sense, which there's actually 4 of them, right? There's clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognizant. There's probably a fifth one. But anyway, when we look through those 4 clairs, I feel like there's another one. That's our psychic vision, and that is where we can make the magic happen, because we can see through into where creation is still malleable, okay? And we have a clarity to put together multiple aspects of physical reality that when we're really have shallow antennas, we can't see, you know? Like we have to use our calendar to remember all these details, whereas if we are clearing out our clairs, then we can be human computers at a higher functioning speed. And this is all very clear to me because I'm experiencing it, because the thought of the scheduling conflict occurred to me after the healing, after the clearing. And my day was clear. Like, I was able to stay calm in situations that I would normally have stressed out about. So you guys, there's something to this all. And but the final word, because that is what my intention was about this, was to get, do I have to revisit this? And you know what's going to happen is something that triggers me for whatever that forgiveness lesson is that triggered me. It's going to come up again. And when I no longer react the same way, then I will know I am truly healed of that forgiveness lesson. I've truly forgiven, and which is just basically means disengage my ego from that trigger. Then yeah, I'll be done. And what is the trigger? What is the trigger? I'm just blaming people. I'm not taking responsibility. You know, I gotta fully take responsibility for my creations. And when I blame people, even when they're upset, and I allow that to trigger me, and I'm gonna tell you, people, it's harder with adults. You think kids are hard, adults are harder every time. Okay, they're gonna trigger you really intensely, and you've got to be grounded. You gotta stay grounded. You gotta own it. You gotta see them as a reflection of you somehow. You gotta just know that it's a reflection of you, that your anger is yours. So I don't think this is over. I think that's Spirit's way of saying it's not over until I know how to own my perception. And so that's all right. That's all right. That means I just got to be disciplined, right? I got to do my own grounding meditation, maybe more than once a day. Maybe that grounding meditation can hold me for like 5 hours, but I got to like check in every 5 hours and make sure that I'm connected with my guidance so that nothing trips me up. Because if you are connected, nothing will trip you up. Nothing will trip you up. I would have had the thought, if I was still connected, instead of triggering, I would have had the thought, well, it's better than nothing. Oh, I almost missed that opportunity, and I caught it, and thank God I caught it. That's awesome. We still get to go do this thing I want to do. So anyway, I'm running out of time, and I'm running out of places to walk. So I'm going to peace out. I'm not going to drop my mic because it's very expensive. But anyway, okay, ciao.